Are you thinking about maybe buying a home, but you're on the fence because you don't know if interest rates are maybe a little too high or maybe what your first step should be? Well, stay tuned because I have a really good friend that came on with me today to share with you your best steps when you first start looking for a home, along with her opinion on what today's market may have to offer buyers that are looking to purchase. So we have some really great information for you, so stay tuned. Hey, aloha, Christine Dugan here with Hawaii Life. And today I have an amazing guest, Meena. Thank you for joining me. Meena is from Element Mortgage, and I asked her to come on today to share with you guys a little bit about herself and also how she helps you when you're buying a home in Hawaii. So, Meena, how do you help your clients, friend?
Thank you for the introduction, Christine. My name's Meena. I am the branch manager here at Element Mortgage, locally out of Oahu, but we do all islands. So we are on the neighbor islands as well. Mortgages are probably not the most exciting topic to be talking about, but it is certainly something that everyone, I'm sure, is interested in. It is probably the biggest purchase anyone is ever going to make in their life, especially if you live in Hawaii. So it is important to get some content and context behind this. And if you guys have any questions, you guys can reach out. Christine's going to provide contact information.
Yeah,
okay. So you have to get a mortgage. If you want to buy a home, you have to get a mortgage unless you have a lot of cash. I do not. Christine probably doesn't either. Our average median home cost here in Hawaii is easily over $1 million. And so it's not a cheap place to buy. So I think taking the first steps to deciding if you want to be a homeowner, in those steps definitely needs to be getting in contact with a mortgage loan officer if you're looking for a mortgage. It's more important or just as important as getting in touch with a realtor. They want to make sure that you're pre-approved, but more importantly, you want to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. What can I even afford? What does my payment look like? Are there any quirks and nuances to the types of properties that I'm even looking at? It may be an investment property for you. And here in Hawaii, we've got lots of fun types of properties that may not necessarily be common in the mainland. So it's very important to, one, talk to a lender, but two, talk to a local lender that really understands the market and the property types. And you don't want to get in a situation where you're in escrow on something and you're working with a mainland lender and they don't understand. They don't know what they don't know, I think is the best way to explain that. So find a loan officer that you have a connection with, that you can build some trust with, and figure out, have those conversations. What are your goals, not just in homeownership, but in life in general, because it's all kind of intertwined. It's really important to take that step. Get yourself pre-approved.
When you first start talking to clients, like for instance, like I meet someone and everybody's first step is always like, I'm going to get on the websites and start searching for homes, right?
Yeah.
And from what you just described, it sounds like, if step one for people is getting on the website and looking for a house, step two should be talking to a mortgage professional like yourself. Does that sound
correct?
Accurate?
That does sound very accurate. More common than not, you're going to have people find a home online and be like, I love this home. I want to see it. And they're going to immediately contact a realtor.
Yeah.
The correct way to do things is to contact a loan officer. Make sure that, like I said, make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, know what the payments look like, and know what you're qualified to even purchase. You may be completely off base, or you may be looking in a price point that you think is your maximum that's not. And you really don't know until you speak to somebody about it. So more often than not, if you do call the agent first, which most of you will, they will ask you if you have talked to a lender. So save everyone the trouble, speak to a lender, get the conversation going. That doesn't mean you have to finish everything, and that's ideal, but it doesn't mean you have to finish. Just take the first steps.
Yeah. And I think the big thing with sharing this with you guys is that I've had the situation where we go and look at the house and they fall in love with the home and it's like their ultimate dream home. And guess what? Then they talk to a mortgage person and they realize that it's a little bit outside of their budget. And that's maybe the worst feeling anyone can have.
Yep.
That's the importance of this, to really prevent that pain and agony and just be really confident and comfortable in the numbers. Because at the end of the day, you might love the home, but if the numbers don't match up, guess what? It's probably not going to make sense for you. So,
Exactly.
Meena, this is a really hot topic right now, and I'm sure you get asked about 27 times every
I think I
single
know what
day.
you're gonna say. Uh-huh.
What do you think I'm going to say?
Are interest rates going to come down? Is it a good time to buy? Those are the
Yes.
top.
Yep.
Yes?
Those
Did
are
I
the
hit it on the
ones.
nail? Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
So
okay,
what's
I'm
your
gonna try
advice
to
to
keep it
someone? They just
short.
started
Yep.
looking, and that's because they're going to talk to every sister, brother,
Yep.
cousin, auntie
Yep.
they have to get everybody's opinion, and you're the person that does this every single day. So
Yeah, and it's complicated and there's a lot involved. I'm going to try to keep it really simple. Is it a good time to buy? My opinion, and that's all it is yes. We are speaking particularly about Hawaii. Historically speaking, Hawaii is a very stable real estate market simply because we just don't have the inventory. We are on an island. We are on several islands, I should say, and we can't build forever, and we have a lot of protected lands for that matter. There's just not, it's very limited, right? And so supply and demand, just again bringing it back to really simple terms, we have way more demand than we have supply, and as long as that remains the case, um, home prices are going to remain high, and that's actually what contributes to our price stability. So interest rates, it's no secret, interest rates are the highest they've been in quite some time. And depending on who you're talking to, if you're talking to your sister, they're thinking, rates were 3%, 2%, that's what we're thinking. But if you're talking to your parents or your grandparents, they're like, well, when I bought my first home, interest rates were 12%. I will say that the disparity between our actual median income versus the actual median home price is greater than what it was before. But I think what buyers fail to realize is if you really are looking at becoming a homeowner and it's a goal of yours in the near future, what do you think is going to happen when rates do come down? If they come down, but if they do, let's say they come down, the number of buyers that are going to flood the market is going to only push prices higher. The market's going to be more competitive. You're going to be competing. At least right now, you're in a market where in certain areas and certain price points, the buyer has some flexibility as far as asking for some concessions, whether that be a seller credit or waiver of something, right? Because during COVID, it was like no cleaning, no home inspection. Oh, and also, by the way, there's $300,000 over asking price. That's what was happening, and that's not happening anymore. Even though that's not happening anymore, and the pendulum is swinging closer to more of a middle market or a normal market, it's still right price, right area, multiple offer situations. So we're still in a very strong market, and it's just something to consider as a buyer. If you're on the fence, there's a lot of other people who are on the fence, and those people are going to get off the fence at the same time you are. So keep that in mind.
yeah, that's a great answer. And I think that taking all that into consideration is very important, because at the end of the day, you're paying someone's mortgage,
Yep.
right? Like either you're paying your landlord's mortgage, where here in Hawaii, it's not unusual to be paying $3,000 to $5,000 a month to live in a home. So it's that amount of money every single month when you're writing your rent check that could be going towards equity. You could always refi. When rates drop, you could always refi out. Meena's there to help with that as well. But those are things just to consider right now, because as Meena shared, if you're on the fence, there's a bunch of other people on the fence. And when rates start coming down, the floodgates are going to open again, and we're going to see a pretty high demand market. That would be my guess. So
Yeah. No, I don't know if you've seen the video or the GIF. It's been floating around, and it's a bunch of people just walking, and then one person takes off running, and it's like 7%. And then it's like 6%. And then you see four more people take off after her, and then it's like 5%, and then 30 people take off after. That is probably the best depiction of what is probably what's going to happen.
yeah,
At least if you've already secured your home, it's yours. you can refinance. It's not a guarantee. I still want to make sure that with my clients, you want to be able to afford your home comfortably. Any mortgage payment right now is uncomfortable, but manageable, right? And so that way you're getting to take advantage of the equity that you're building in it during that time before rates drop, and you're not in a market where you have to compete with a bunch of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, great advice. Thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom with us today, Meena, and how you help your clients. And you guys give Meena a call. See how she can help you know your
Thank
numbers.
you.
All right. Aloha.
Aloha.